Welcome back. It's week 3. Different Go On podcast. Get your motherfucking popcorn ready. Dante, get your wontons ready.
Oh,
Bode, get your beers ready. It's a celebration for you two, not me so much, but
Cheers.
what's going on, fellas? How we doing?
we're back, bitches.
First time all year. I'm happy to be here.
Yes, Jonathan Bodak making his much anticipated 2017 debut. Our former host coming back. He's like Jon Stewart coming back to the Daily Show.
Wow. I'm honored that that's what I get. But I do have to say, as this starts, Rob, bravo. You've done a phenomenal job with the podcast this year. Added a lot of new little twists. I love the little sound bites and playovers you do. So kudos. I'm glad I was passing the torch on to you.
We're
Thank
already
you.
starting with the reverse shit talk. We're 30 seconds into this podcast.
No, it's one compliment because he has done a good job. I got to give him his due. And other than that, go fuck yourself.
No, fuck Rob. Fuck his podcast. Fuck his stupid microphone.
But you can't say fuck my fantasy team because it's too damn good. Well, thank you. That's high praise coming from a former god, pod god, that is. Anyway, guys, one of the closest weeks we've had in a while, well, except for Slick, but we don't have to talk about that yet.
We'll talk.
A lot of close games. Almost every game, I think, was within 10-point differential or so. So bravo to everyone. Bravo to the schedule makers.
Except Slick's team.
Yeah, except for Slick. But overall, pretty good. Let's start it out with the lowest scoring closest matchup. Two 2-1 teams. Peter Asmus, who does now have a team name, which is a team has no name.
About goddamn time.
And Kyle's Armageddon is upon us, but he's still not. His bold prediction did not come true. We'll get that out of the way.
It's getting bold out.
Josh Gordon, still dead. Bode, you're the newcomer. Why don't you do the honors? You
Do a little breakdown? Well, I think Peter actually giving himself a team name boosted his chances to win because, when you're just Team Asmus for so long, your team is inevitably going to be a loser.
more ass is what we translated it to. Me and the help of our designated Latino of the group, Kyle.
Most ass. But no, it's his team really didn't do much. I mean, OBJ, typical OBJ performance that you'd expect, 24.4. He had those 2 touchdowns, but before that on the day wasn't doing much. And then Aaron Rodgers with just 21.8. Other than that, no one jumps off the page to me on his side. And then Kyle's team is just a little bit more consistent play. I mean, AJ Green's your outlier with the higher scoring, but having a defense put up negative points obviously is never going to be good for any team in any matchup. So
Facts.
really, it's a very boring matchup when you look at the breakdown.
Dante, what do you think? Boring?
Yeah, it was really boring. I agree with both. I mean, you have OBJ who went off, AJ Green went off, but that's kind of expected for both of them. And Rodgers, 21, expected. Other than that, it really sucks. Really a really shitty matchup.
Yeah.
2 better guys.
I think Kyle's big guys last week, CJ Anderson, Alshon Jeffrey, they didn't come to play. They ain't bail him out this week. Big Ben stunk it up on the road. It's typical Big Ben. You got to stream him pretty much every time he plays on the road. It kind of sucks.
I wonder what Kyle's going to try and do with Lamar Miller. I don't remember what round Lamar Miller's drafted in, but I'm guessing it had to be
Fourth
the
or fifth,
first
I wanna say.
3. Really? I figured he would have gone in like the first 3, if not like the second. But yeah, whatever. So I mean, he was an early pick, and like if you're starting Lamar Miller in your flex, to me that means he's 1 step away from being benched, and Kyle's going to have to rely on CJ Anderson and Tariq Cohen, which, ugh.
I'm sorry, you're right. Miller did go in the third, so that's obviously early, but he's kind of like a big name guy where if he's sitting there and you're
Yeah.
looking at him, you're almost like forced to take him.
Yeah.
Especially in a PPR format, knowing just his pass catching ability in years past and how he's always going to be used pretty much on any offense.
I have a question, and I don't remember who was all on Kyle's team, but do you think he's regretting keeping Justin Tucker?
I mean, he put up 1 point this week.
Like, yeah, exactly.
1 point. The god.
He's put up 8, 6, and 1 over 3 weeks.
I'm pretty sure he's got outkicked in every week because even this week, Blair Walsh only put up 3, but that was better than Tucker.
Yeah. Like there's kickers off the waiver wire who are putting up more than that. I mean, like obviously 1, but even 8. Like 8's your high. Excuse me, like that's not good.
The inside, I bet he regrets it, but he'll never admit to it.
No,
because he kept him. So like he admits to it, then he's just open to more shit talk from the rest of us as if he hasn't gotten enough already. Because you kept a fucking kicker, you idiot.
And this is the fire and intensity of this podcast.
There's been one move in both leagues I'm in that's been dumber than Justin Tucker being kept, and that's in my work league. He was drafted in the 8th round. So congratulations, Kyle. There's one person I know that's dumber than you when it comes to kickers.
Ooh, that's a real kick to the nuts there. With Kyle's
no good game for you, Kyle.
With Kyle's team, I mean, he was 2-0 the first 2 weeks, which broke my projection of middle of the road. But I think here he is. This was the lower end of the middle of the road. I think he's gonna vary. Like I think he's gonna like fluctuate back and forth. When his team has really good weeks, he'll be one of the top scoring teams consistently. But I think he's gonna make some moves either with Tevin Coleman and probably definitely with Rashard Matthews. I could see Rashard Matthews being his new flex.
Yeah, I kind of have a feeling though Kyle is a middle of the road team, unless he's going to make a trade because that's what Kyle does. But he's going to have his highs, like you said. Like his highs will be high, but his lows are going to be real low. And I mean, I put Peter in that same category, and I think Peter's team's a little bit worse than Kyle's, but they're both bad teams. At least Peter, I think, has good depth at wide receiver, but nothing really else.
Why did he start Aguilar this week? Not even in the flex, but in like wide receiver.
If I had a guess,
was Baldwin not supposed to play?
No, dude, Baldwin was healthy. Baldwin got hurt in the game.
Then what the fuck, Peter?
But he got hurt in like the third quarter though.
Yeah, third or fourth, because he balled out and then he got hurt.
Why? But why is Nelson Aguilar starting against the Giants?
If I had a guess, dude, I think he probably didn't touch his lineup. And don't hold me to that, but I'm pretty confident this is the same exact lineup he had last week, unless he started Jordan Reed last week.
I thought Aguilar was in the flex last week. I could be wrong.
No, he was definitely as his wide receiver too. Because I remember when I played him last week, but I don't remember if Theo Riddick was his flex or not.
Oh, yeah, because Beckham didn't play last week. So.
Yeah. Actually, no, he had to change his lineup because I guarantee you he started Isaiah Crowell last week. He had the technology.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what Peter's deal is with that.
I think he went bold. I think he went too bold.
It's getting bold out.
I mean, he definitely missed on not starting Garcon, but I don't blame him for that. But yeah, he definitely touched his lineup this week, from last week. But not starting Baldwin is dumb.
So to touch back on these teams being middle of the road, I look at Kyle's lineup. Like you said, Peter has the wide receiver depth, which he does. I mean, when Baldwin's healthy, he should absolutely, I think, be in your lineup as either like your wide receiver 2 with OBJ or at least like a flex. And then looking at Kyle's lineup, I mean, it's not like he has a bad lineup. I mean, Rashard Matthews is a kind of guy that I wouldn't play every week necessarily, but looking at matchups, maybe, just with Mariota having a bit of a down year in Tennessee, I think Kyle has the kind of team where he might second guess himself, like in a week like this, based upon the matchup. Although I don't know if any of us would have looked at, CJ Anderson having as off of a day as he had since he's been so dominant going into it.
All right. With that being said, those were two of the lower scoring teams. They weren't quite as low as our good friend Slick.
Aww.
The pit of misery itself. That was low, 48.9. Peter, you lucked out. You didn't get low score literally 1 week after I questioned if it would be the lowest of the year. Slick saw Peter's score last week of 50 whatever and said, hold my blue moon, I got this. Dante, you were the lucky man to go up against him this week and pretty much do whatever the fuck you want and still get out of there with a win. We'll go to you first. How are you feeling about embarrassing him?
How was that ass whooping?
After all the shit Slick talks about his team, and how his team's not that bad and he's still confident in them, there's no more confidence left in your team. Your team sucks. I beat you on Thursday with 2 guys. 2. You did not crack 50. I'm done.
That's all you got?
He didn't crack 50 points. He doesn't deserve a whole 2-minute rant from me.
Well, I know what Slick would say, and that you look at the guys on his bench. That's his favorite thing to do, is look at his bench and see how well they did. I think the pattern it's coming down to is not that Slick's team is that bad. It's that he doesn't know who to start week in, week out.
No, I think it's that his team's that bad.
No, because if you put Hogan in there over Kelvin Benjamin, DeMarco in over James White, he still puts up, not obviously not enough to win.
Okay, he cracked 70.
Hold on, but
it's not the lowest score of the year.
I think you should really look back at that, though, and think, why the hell wouldn't you have Chris Hogan in with what that man has done this year in pretty much every single game? I mean, it's well known at this point that Tom Brady likes to throw him the football.
I think Slick's handcuffed to his lineup. Like, he's going to start Adams and Evans every single week. Now that Benjamin's hurt, I mean, depending on that injury, he probably won't start him anymore. But his 2 wide receivers are always going to be locked up, and they didn't do shit this week. His running backs aren't good. And I mean, like, sure, DeMarco had a great game, but he had like a 75-yard touchdown run. So that's – someone do math for me. 13 points, 12 points, right there of his 18. Yeah. So, like, that's not going to be sustainable, especially because everyone keeps talking about the fact that Derrick Henry's probably going to take over.
Yeah, but he's still getting the workload, though. He's still got 14 carries. Like, that's a lot for a week when people were saying he might not even play.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I don't think he's going to be someone you could start every week because you're not going to know what you're going to get from him. Because Slick started him the last 2 weeks. And what did he put up the last 2 weeks?
Not a lot.
He put up 10. He put up 10 total points. So, like, he has one big week when – I mean, so you said Murray had 14 carries this week. Derrick Henry had 13. You know what I mean? So that's essentially split right down the middle. So if you give Henry one of those big touchdowns that Murray had, I mean, it completely changes things. I mean, he started Trevor Siemian. Like, he rode high on fucking Trevor Siemian.
Well, I mean, when you spend 100-something points on him, you better fucking play him. And I mean, look,
drank that
Cam put up 4.3. Like, what were you?
Exactly, but that's what I'm saying, man. That's why his team's bad. He doesn't have anyone. Like, I think if you're Slick, blow it up. Try and flip Evans or try and flip Adams.
Wait. We're talking hashtag fire sale already?
Fire sale.
Oh my God! We're having a fire sale! Oh, the burning! It burns me! Evacuate all the school children! Oh, me! This isn't a fever! Sing, Gray! Can't even see where the knob is!
Oh, yeah.
I can't wait for
fire sale.
I can't wait for the rebuttal that Slick has to this.
It's still early.
He's gonna go on.
He's
gonna go on such a rant in the group chat. It's not even funny.
Fucking let on that.
Here's already a little bit of here. Take out your pen, Slick, or your phone and start typing now. It's only week 3. You already have a win. You're not in last place. That's pretty good. McCaffrey finally did well, even though they were down to the Saints, and I guess all he did was catch the ball. And even though you still started Kelvin Benjamin, he didn't do shit because Well, I guess he didn't start 3 Panthers, so hey, that's a plus. Your other defense that you drafted second didn't get negative points. That's a plus. It was only 2.
Can I ask Slick a question real quick?
Oh,
How's that
right.
Seahawks defense working out for you, pal? Great pick. God,
Bode, I know you haven't done a podcast in a while. He can't answer, but
I know.
if
I
you
like
could-
I like the rhetorical questions because then I love to see what's going to be said
Oh, okay.
after it comes out.
I don't think that's a rhetorical question.
It is right now, but it's not. It won't be in about 2 days when Rob gets this edited.
Well,
It doesn't make sense, guys. You don't have to understand.
yeah, we'll cut. Oh, don't worry, we'll cut this part out. Yeah, not good. Dante, congrats on a good week. Your running backs, like you said, won it for you on Thursday night. Your boy Buck Allen putting up a monster 5.3 points. I mean, ooh, how hard were you watching that London game at 9:30 in the morning?
I didn't watch any of it because I got fucking dragged in to go apple picking.
You-
So
That sounds like a blast.
you know how awful that is? The fact that you pay money to go into a goddamn field and just pull vegetables and produce off of goddamn trees.
Apples are fruit.
If it's produce, I had to pay for that.
Vegetables first.
This would answer the
Vegetables and
question that
produce.
no, Nell is not currently at Dante's apartment.
Oh, fuck no. It was so dumb. It was so hot. There's fucking children running around everywhere trying to get these goddamn apples off the tree, and they're too small to get them, so the parents are fucking pushing people out of the way to make sure they get the biggest one. God, it's a waste of fucking time. So, no, I didn't watch the game. And
It's like I'm
Buck
gonna give
Allen-
you half. I'm gonna give you half a victory because you didn't go apple picking in your knowledge.
But that half a victory doesn't count in the official standings. So you
I
still
do,
You can
And I
put it
have-
on the board.
and I have 13 apples and 2 pears sitting in my kitchen.
How you
So-
like them apples? All
But,
right,
yeah, man.
Dante. Nobody cares. Moving on. We've got probably. Well, I mean, it was a pretty close matchup, but this was kind of the Sacco Bowl without being the literal Sacco Bowl because we have the former Sacco going against the team we projected to be the future Sacco. Spence and Sco came down to a pretty close game last night with the Sco's Cowboys doing some work. Thoughts on the matchup? Bodak, we'll go to you because I don't want to take the risk of Dante talking about apples more.
Sco got royally fucked, you could say, when a 75-yard touchdown was called back because the Honey Badgers' absolute lazy-ass effort to touch a guy before the whistle was blown blew that up and pretty much ended his shot, I would say, at beating Spence. I mean, when you looked at it, though, prior to last night, seeing that it was, Dez, Dak, and he has a kicker going, he's only down by like 38. You have to give the guy like a real good shot. It was a good matchup. I mean, not very consistent across the board, but each team had their big scores. I mean, Duke Johnson had a hell of a week, almost putting up 20 points. That's a great waiver wire ad by Sco, to say the least. And, I mean, Dak kind of salvaged it. He didn't look great in the beginning, but tossing 3 touchdowns certainly helped. And then Spence, Dalvin Cook, for rookie running backs, seems to be paying off with Dalvin and Leonard Fournette. So congrats, Spence. You can keep roster baiting, you pedophile. And then Jordy Nelson being Jordy Nelson and Aaron Rodgers' favorite target, just racking up points like we all know that he can. So
Dante,
Sorry, I was eating crab rangoon.
you sure it wasn't apples?
Yeah,
it was
so,
in
I mean,
an apple crust.
Yeah, this was actually a surprisingly good game. I don't know if it speaks more volumes to maybe Sco's team isn't as bad as we all thought, because like Marshawn's not going to always put up 3. Like you guys said, Dez should have had more than 8. Kobe Fleener's not going to put up 2, or maybe it speaks more volumes that Spencer's team isn't as good as we originally thought. But I don't know. Crabtree only put up 1, so that kind of stinks. But yeah, it was a really interesting matchup. I gave Sco absolutely no shot in this game, and he kept it close, and he had a lot of good fights. So
Yeah, the only thing I would say about this matchup, Dak finally showed up and had a good game.
yeah,
Well, I mean, not that he had bad games, but like he had a week that was good enough that with some other pieces, he was good enough to win you a game. Marshawn Lynch, I think that's a big question mark. Like, he wasn't even in for the latter part of that game. He was on the sidelines in a beam and taking a knee. Like, I know he's not a pass catching guy, and the Raiders were down, but they were running the ball, and he just wasn't on the field and didn't even like look like he was going to be in. So I don't know what the hell was going on there. If that's just maybe something he had in his contract where he doesn't.
He's just about that action, boss.
He just, maybe he tired himself out by dancing on the Jets' grave last week. I don't know.
Yeah, that's surprising that they didn't use him more. Like you said, like I know he's not a pass catching back like Rashard and Washington are, but to see him not on the field when you're down, he's your best running back by far. You'd think he would be better utilized in the game plan, but that game overall was wacky. Like we'll talk about Amari Cooper in your game, but like Cooper didn't do anything, Carr didn't do anything, Crabtree didn't do anything. Like that entire team just like looked bad, and maybe they thought, let's take out Marshawn. We're losing this game by a lot. We can't do anything with it. Why even risk injury or anything like that? Let's just pull him.
I mean, no news about injuries or anything, but we'll see. Sko loses Darren Sproles. I think for him, that's a little more painful just because he's already lost Rob Kelly.
Yeah.
If Duke Johnson can keep up this type of production, which is kind of a question mark, but at the same time, Crowell hasn't been doing shit. But he's getting his work in the passing game, so I don't know. We'll see about that.
Sko's literally down to 2 running backs. If Rob Kelly's out an extended period of time, he only has Duke Johnson and Marshawn. Oh, my God.
I think Rob Kelly is closer to coming back than we might think.
I think Kelly being out this past week was more so precautionary, knowing how physical Oakland's defense can be. I mean, why rush a guy back with injured ribs against the physical defense,
Yeah. I wonder what Spencer's going to do about his quarterback situation. I mean, I know Philip Rivers isn't always going to put up 2 points, and then KC does have a good defense, but they play the Eagles next week, and the Eagles do have a pretty good defense as well. I mean, we don't have the secondary that Kansas City has, but
Eli torch you guys.
I mean, I don't know if I'd consider that torching, but
Our receiver got away on some.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, Andrew Luck I know is supposed to come back the next couple of weeks, but is that something you can really rely on? So I think he's definitely going to be someone who's in the market for a quarterback.
I think Spence is gonna be perfectly fine, waiting for Luck, and if Rivers can go back to how he did last week of just getting mid-teens points, like he's fine. Like he's not going to put up 2 points again. Spence did come away with the win. Jordy bounced back, had a good week after an injury. I don't know why he's not starting Evan Ingram over Eric Ebron. I think he's just a better tight end, maybe a more questionable quarterback throwing in the ball. But if I was Spence, I'd be going forward with Evan Ingram. I think how you said like maybe Spence's team isn't as good as we thought. I think he still is, because when I look at his team, he still has the most depth. And like if his rookie running backs are consistent, Crabtree, I don't know if he's going to miss any time, but like you're not going to count on a stinker like that.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think Spencer has a good team. It's like you said, his rookie running backs are awesome. He probably never has to take them out except for a bye. Jordy's obviously always going to be in. As long as Crabtree's healthy, he's always in. I guess he just has to kind of figure out that flex spot, because with who I would consider Martavis Bryant like a flex option. And I kind of feel like Bryant's a boom or bust kind of guy, but like I would probably start Adam Thielen almost every week, unless one of his other guys are playing like the Browns or something. But,
yeah, I mean we'll see when Sammy B comes back.
Yeah, if he comes back.
Thielen or Sanders?
Thielen, Sanders, Crabtree, or Bryant. I would feel confident playing any one of them based on like the more favorable matchup. And then, by the way, he's going to have Doug Martin, a number 1 running back, coming back pretty soon too. So I think Spence is fine. He still got away with the win. So
this week, I believe. Oh no, after week 4. Sorry.
Popcorn kernels.
Someone needs a beer to wash that down.
Yeah, what's your beer of the week?
Oh, I'm glad you guys asked. Beer of the week.
Bobby Colt's beer of the week.
Might sound familiar. Sam Adams Rebel Rouser IPA.
Okay.
Same one I had last week, because they gave me a shitty hangover after only drinking 3 of them during podcasting and editing over the course of 3 or so hours. Wicked hangover. So this is the last one that I'm finally killing, and I hope it will rid me of my bad voodoo that I had this week. My close to.
Jeez, Rob. Maybe that's why you lost.
Yeah,
because you're
maybe
drinking that shitty beer.
I should have drank it sooner. So I wouldn't.
I got a better beer for you, Rob. If you need a suggestion.
Maybe we'll wait till a little later to discuss that. What do you say, Bodak?
Yeah.
Captain
We'll tuck that in the back pocket. Save it for a rainy day.
Yeah. Before we move on to any matchups, let's do a little segment here of Unsung Heroes.
Bud Light presents Real American Heroes.
Real American heroes.
Now, it's been kind of an odd season. We're only 3 weeks in. A lot of ups, a lot of downs, a lot of stars not really performing as well as could be expected, or some inconsistent, a lot of injuries. We all know that. Do you guys have any players that maybe have flown under the radar, or maybe just had one good week that like really made or break a team or your team, any other team in particular? Kodak?
I had 2 in mind. If we're going to go unsung heroes, then I'm actually going to be a homer. And if it's for a team and help them get to victory, I'm going to go with my own team. I made a trade earlier this week, as some of you may know, for Chris Carson, who jumped right off the page as probably my, aside from the touchdown machine Mike Gillisley, top running back option. And without his 12.1 points, I was looking at, P. Ryan, who did Dick, or Bilal Powell, who had a touchdown, and that was about it. And other than that, it really wasn't all that amazing.
I'll take credit for that. He saw me in the stands and was like, "This one's for you, Rob." And I was like, "No, this one's for Bode."
And then he just went, Papa!
Yeah.
But yeah.
So you're welcome, Bode. Give credit where credit is due.
I said I made a trade. I was going to give you a shout out, but yeah, I think.
Fuck you, Dante. Don't give him shit.
I was able to make a trade and help a much needed sore spot on my team. So
Dante, you got any unsung heroes for us, bud?
Well, I can't be a homer because Willie Snead is still suspended because he's a drunk. But I will say that an unsung hero for me is Chris Thompson on Dylan's team, because that dude has.
All right. I'm going to mute you now. I don't want to hear that.
Bringing up a sore subject, Robbie?
Yeah, we are. Go ahead, keep talking.
He's been an absolute stud, and over the last 3 weeks, and I think he's a top 5 running back so far, just based off of stats alone. And I mean, 150 receiving yards from a running back is honestly video game numbers. So awesome job, Dylan, on the pick. I don't remember if he was drafted or if he was picked up off the waiver wire. But
I think he was a waiver wire pick.
I mean, awesome pick. Because if Chris Thompson was still on the waiver wire today, I think he would go for no less than 200 points, maybe 300 of our waiver wire points. So awesome job, Dylan. Fuck you, Rob, and your shitty team.
Dante, I was going to make one of your guys my unsung hero, so it's just kind of disappointing to hear you take shots at me like that.
You bitch.
Todd Gurley, very quietly. Yeah, he's up the top. He's at the top of the charts. He just had a huge week, but like even before that, got a touchdown every game, double-digit fantasy points. He's catching the ball, which is like the biggest thing. He's the number 1 guy there. I think he is up for a huge season now that the Rams kind of have their shit together on offense.
Keep talking.
The unsung hero for Rob would have been Matt Bryant and his 14-point outing as a kicker, but
Matt Bryant. I didn't have Matt Bryant.
Oh, Dylan did.
Fucking cocks. Anyway. Fucking motherfuckers.
So now we covered unsung heroes and talking about your game, Rob.
Well, you're not the host. I'm hosting. It's my show.
I just figured, we just talked about your game a little bit. Why would you want to talk about it? You're already miserable enough.
No,
I'm trying to help you out.
I gotta clear my head.
It'd be a great transition to go right into your game.
It'd be a great transition to mute you. Not have you fucking talk about my team.
That popcorn's really getting you salty, huh?
Yes. All right, unsung heroes.
Real American heroes.
A couple of guys we didn't talk about during the unsung heroes segment. Mike and Carl. Another very close game. I think the bubonic plague might be real. Might be infected with it. Carl escaped narrowly. Dante, thoughts?
This was an awesome game. I'm sure Mike is very happy seeing Jordan Howard bounce back and Le'Veon Bell kind of start getting going, and excuse me, and Tyreek Hill finally showing up as well and warning the draft pick.
Not finally. He had a great game week 1.
Week 1, and then last week he had a dud in a game where he probably should have put up way more points.
Yeah,
I mean, against like
Tyreek Hill
Eagles
bouncing
defense.
back.
Yeah, that shit happens.
Sorry, bounce back. So I'm sure Mike's happy with the Tyreek Hill bouncing back and his team putting up 111. But yeah, man, I think that Plague is legit because he's in a downward spiral. He's in trouble, especially when you look at his bench with guys like AP AP sitting there doing nothing. I mean, he's not going to get anything from James Conner unless Bell goes down. Cobb's hurt. Cameron Brate. I mean, you're never going to play him because you have Gronk, and no one else. And then Carl's team, I mean, besides Travis Kelce, that's kind of exactly the kind of game I expect from Carl. Fuck him for picking up the Chiefs' defense. Fucking asshole. Yeah, I mean, this was a really good game, and I think Carl is as good as his team looks. I don't know if Stephen Diggs is going to put up 33 points every week, especially with Case Keenum. Maybe this was an outlier. Maybe this is actually the breakout year people have been waiting for with Diggs. But Carl's got a solid team, and it's scary. He's got a scary good team.
What do you think, John?
If I'm Mike, you're happy, but you're mad all at the same time. Like Dante alluded to, Jordan Howard bouncing back, Bell finally putting up numbers. But, just looking at his team, like I said earlier, anytime you get negative points from your defense is going to kill you. And, -5 nonetheless is awful. And then, getting just 5.7 out of a flex really isn't going to help either. But when you look at his bench, who could he have really replaced it with? And then, Wentz on paper and for the game itself might have had a good day, but fantasy-wise, not so hot. And, yeah, Carl's team, I mean, he had everything that you pretty much want from a fantasy team. I mean, if you get one guy to really just go off and then consistent production across the board, minus Travie getting 0.6 and a kicker getting 4, that's awesome. And then you look at his bench. I mean, he could have plugged in a couple other guys that would have just made it a bit of an ass whooping. So, but yeah, really, really good matchup.
Yeah, I think for Mike, I wouldn't be too concerned. Great job sticking with Jordan Howard. I mean, like you said, Dante, he doesn't really have too many other options at running back, but a lot of people would have benched him this week. Like Slick probably would have. I wouldn't be too concerned. Jarvis Landry getting shut out by the Jets, and I don't think anybody would have seen that coming. And the Bucs defense going up against Case Keenum, I think that's a solid start, especially what they've done the past couple weeks. So you got fucked over there, buddy. And Carl, I think these guys already summed it up. Consistent production, and I think it could only get better from his running backs.
I think Mike's in a situation where he, like exactly like you guys said, he's probably not as worried as he could be being 0-3, with his two guys, Bell and Howard, which is still I still think the best keepers. Like you said, Rob, Landry will probably bounce back and don't expect him to get shit on by the Jets. But if Cobb is out any extended period of time, if honestly, if Howard has a couple weeks where he's a dud, and for whatever reason Cohen's kind of the go-to guy, Mike could be in trouble. And he's got a tough stretch of games coming up. Becky this week, you the week after, then me, then Spencer, and he finally has an easy one week 8 when he plays Slick's shitty team. other than that, I mean, Mike honestly could go and over that 4-game stretch, he could go 2-2, he could go 3-1, or he could go 0-4. So I don't think it's time for Mike. Not 4-0, 0-4.
Because he plays me.
No, because he plays me.
No, I beat you to it.
But yeah, I don't think it's time for Mike to panic, but I think Mike should be getting a little antsy and should really start taking a look at his trade options, who's out there on the waiver wire if there's anything, and seeing if he can do anything to kind of bolster his team a little bit.
Yeah, we'll see. I think Le'Veon Bell is going to really start to turn it up now.
He's not used to playing this early in the season.
Yeah, exactly. He's either suspended. Yep.
He's like, what is this week 3 nonsense? Is this the preseason?
I'm usually high on my couch.
I'm watching AB just dance in the end zone. Just, I'll get there when I get there.
One person I want to I probably could have given a shout out to in the unsung heroes thing, DeAndre Hopkins. Not monster numbers, but at the same time, he wasn't a number one pick last year like I made him, unfortunately. Goddamn Brock Hobbs. But consistent 7 catches every game, either 70 yards or a touchdown in every game. Low key, flying under the radar. If you can have a guy like Diggs come in and put up 20 or 30 points, and DeAndre throw in 10 to 15 points on top of that, I'd be happy if I was Carl.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially when you have Sammy Watkins on your bench putting up 25. Like, his wide receivers are solid, his running backs are solid.
Yeah. And for someone like Hopkins to be putting up consistent numbers like that, I mean, clearly has a good rapport with a rookie quarterback already. That's just going to get better as the year goes on.
But fuck Carl's team.
Yeah, fuck Carl.
On your birthday. Fuck your birthday. Old son of a bitch.
Yeah, so speaking of the man, DeAndre Hopkins, I could use that consistent production at wide receiver this year. So let's talk about my team. A matchup with Dylan. Dylan, I guess I have to come pretty close to conceding here. I don't think these stat corrections are going to correct in my favor. God damn you, Roger Goodell. Fucking clown-nosed bastard. I'll let you guys have at it first.
What's it like to come second?
It's funny because when you look at Rob's point breakdown, he climaxes when he Kareems, and then it's just all downhill from there.
No, because my
honestly,
kicker did ball out.
You were building up to another Kareem. You just came up too short.
Yeah, I started to get the chub back a little bit.
Your team's not bad, man. Like, you definitely still have a really good team.
Yeah, I'm the leading scorer in the league.
I honestly fuck you. I try and give you a compliment, but whatever. Fuck you. I don't really know what to think about Amari Cooper or Terrell Pryor. I think obviously like they're not going to put up a combined 4 points every week. Like, Cooper is definitely going to bounce back, but he has not looked good. He has the worst drop rate in the league. And I know it's early. I know it's only week 3, but if he keeps having weeks where he's dropping 3, 4, 5 balls, I mean, Derek Carr's just not going to throw to him. And then you're going to see his volume go way down. And because he's not a red zone threat, he could be a big bust. That the bust potential is brewing. Terrell Pryor, I still think was a good keeper by you. And I don't know with him if it's a lack of rapport with Cousins or what, because he's getting the volume. It's just he's just not showing up at all. And then fucking Jack Doyle. I thought Kyle Rudolph was bad, but I'm getting 0.9. God damn it.
Jack Doyle said, "Hold my beer."
But I mean, this was honestly an incredible match to watch. It has a good team. A couple guys can show up. I mean, Keenan Allen's gonna do more than 0.6. It's nice to see T.Y. Hilton bounce back. I don't think Chris Thompson's 27 is sustainable, but he's also done that 3 weeks in a row, so maybe it is. But Dylan actually has a better team than I had given him credit for. Probably going to start taking over that running back core. So,
yeah, I mean, and looking at Dylan's team too, with Joe Mixon on his bench, who's been now getting more and more touches out of that backfield with the changing guard at the offensive coordinator position. Even if Chris Thompson starts to fall off a little bit when Rob Kelly comes back, or if that flex spot becomes a little questionable, just because the wide receivers in the Washington offense seem to be a little iffy this year, and he has Jamison Crowder. That's a good plug-in. And yeah, Rob, I mean, tough week, but when you look at your top 3, Kirk had a solid week. Devontae Freeman, Kareem Hunt, 2 solid running backs to be having in there every single week. And yeah, I mean, it's kind of a head scratcher with Amari Cooper and Terrell Pryor. And looking at Amari Cooper's out of the next 4 weeks, I mean, you got at Denver, tough. Baltimore, tough. The Chargers should be a matchup in which that if he's going to get some sort of something going, momentum, he should there. And then Kansas City. So it doesn't help that he doesn't play in an easy division and he's off to a rough start. But yeah, and Jack Doyle, I mean, I don't know. You'd like to think that when Andrew Luck comes back, his production should skyrocket essentially from what it's been. But, I mean, you have 3 solid running backs, and I think it was said last week, your running backs are kind of sort of like the glue to your team. you kind of go with your running backs, and Montgomery
So-
only having 9 hurt you.
So, Rob, what are you going to do at wide receiver if Cooper doesn't bounce back, and Terrell Pryor doesn't get it going? Because you don't really have much depth. A fine waiver wire pickup, but besides that touchdown, he put up the same amount of points as Terrell Pryor. And I saw you just drop Cooper Kupp, so you're even down another wide receiver. Marvin Jones really isn't a viable start every week. So I'm curious to see what you're thinking.
Really have no idea. I'm stunned. I'm at a loss of words to see that pathetic outing from both of them. Cooper wasn't even on the field for the last drive that the Raiders could have attempted to put a touchdown on the board. He wasn't even out there. Pryor, on the one play, ran a lazy route that he just didn't even run sharply. He took a real curved route, and it should have been intercepted. The ball was thrown right at him, but he took such a lazy route that he couldn't even catch it. And it's just frustrating to watch because that literally made the difference between me winning and losing this week. It was one catch like that. I'm going to jump to my bold prediction right now, just get it out of the way while we're on the subject.
It's getting bold out.
Amari Cooper, this is the week I'm supposed to bench him. Going up against Denver, he hasn't done shit. This is his breakout week. This is gonna happen. It's all gonna turn around. I mean, I like you said, I don't have any other options. I can't start more running backs at the wide receiver spots if I could.
So you're telling me your bold prediction is that Amari Cooper's going to break out this week
Bold.
Yep.
against Denver.
At Denver.
Yep.
At Denver.
Yep.
Against the no-fly zone.
120 yards and a touchdown.
It's bold
is
for
bold.
a reason.
Yep. Yeah, it's bold prediction for a reason.
For the bold.
I like it.
Yeah, we'll get around to yours later. Honestly, I mean, like you guys said, I mean, I won last week, but my running backs carried me through because Kirk Cousins didn't show up and Cooper and Pryor didn't do too much last week either. So Montgomery having 9 points was really disappointing because when you look at the final numbers of how many catches he had and just how many times he touched the ball, he just didn't do much with it. So Cincinnati's defense kind of fucked me over there. End of the day, I'm not overly concerned because I'm still the leading scorer and my running backs have been consistent. So, Jack Doyle, fuck you, Slick, for cursing me. I thought he was going to crush Cleveland. I was wrong. Jacoby Brissett kind of took over on his own. Started throwing a TY, and unfortunately, that was my week to match up against him. Good game, Dylan. If I was Dylan, I'd be absolutely furious with a man named Jimmy Graham because the guy has been in his starting lineup past 2 weeks, put up a grand total of 2.9 points, then proceeds to get hurt, moved to Dylan's bench, and finally scoring double digits.
Yeah, that's
They're being hurt all week.
Yeah. But
I feel like he hasn't done shit since he's been in Seattle. In all honesty, he's just
he came on.
I don't know what
it
it
at
is.
the end of last season, which I think is why Dylan kept him because the uptick in production looked good. But he's got Delaney Walker, who is not a bad option by any means, and me and Dylan had a trade on the table, and I pussied out and didn't pull the trigger, and it literally came back to bite me this week.
What was the trade?
Terrence West for Delaney, straight up.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Before Terrence West got hurt, and I'll kick myself over that for quite some time.
Yeah, I would a little bit.
Thanks for the support there.
Rob, welcome to the 2-1 club, buddy.
Hey,
There's a lot of company.
I'm right down here with the rest of you peasants now. Got to tell you,
Wow.
It stinks. It stinks.
That's not the attitude to have. That's the attitude that gets you pushed right down to the bottom of the pile, you bitch.
Yeah, we'll see about that. We weren't talking like that last week after I stomped you.
Good game, Rob.
Yeah, good game.
Good game, yeah. Good game. My team.
Oh,
sucks,
just
man.
wait for it.
Oh, Golden Tate's
Just
not going to do anything, man.
Fucking
He didn't though. Was I wrong?
Yeah, Golden Tate's have scored 40 points for me. Julie said, man.
He had to, and he didn't. He put up 2.
God, pussy.
Yeah. Speaking of
Eat
pussies,
my ass.
speaking of eating ass, Bodek's moved on from eat a dick to eat my ass. I love it.
It's ass eating season.
Ass eating season, babe. So gross. Bodek, you are the sole reason that in 3 weeks' time, Kyle will be wearing a Mark Sanchez jersey that is way too small for him.
You all are welcome.
I would just like to applaud you for that.
I hope you don't ever plan on wearing that again, because that thing is just going to be destroyed.
It's a Mark Sanchez jersey. I have no reason to wear it.
That is the correct answer.
I only wear it out of the irony at league events, Harambe Bowl, the draft, just because why the fuck not?
Because it's Dirty Sanchez. It's the Sanchez.
You need to take so many pictures of him in that shirt.
It's going to be great.
Like, I want that to be the new background on my phone.
All right. We can make that. We can make that happen.
I think it has a lot more potential than the year Kyle had to do the George Costanza pose on our couch.
That's actually the picture when he calls me on my phone.
Also a phenomenal picture.
But yeah, moving on. Bode, your boy Brandon Cooks finally came out to play, and did he ever? He really made the week for you, and nice to see you beat your longtime rival, good old Becky.
I'm gonna start this off. Good game, Tom Brady. Good game, Frank Gore. Good game, Quiz Rogers, Michael Thomas, Demaryius Thomas, Hunter Henry. Go fuck yourself. Book a game. Steelers defense and Mason Crosby and everybody on Becky's bench. Good game, but ultimately, fuck you all. Not good enough. Second highest score in the league isn't the highest score, so ultimately, you take the L this week. Yeah, Brendan Cooks. Me and about God knows how many thousands, millions of others of people out there finally saw him do what Brendan Cooks was hyped up to do when he went to New England. It was miraculous. I had thoughts all week of actually benching him for Rashad Higgins. Thank God that wasn't a thing. But yeah, I think looking at my team, Breeze back-to-back 20 points, it's kind of what I expect from him and why I kept him. Not getting a touchdown so made him kind of worthless, because unless he gets a touchdown or the Patriots are up by a shit ton and they just want to try to run the clock out, he's not going to do much. I'm like the polar opposite of your team, though, Rob. I mean, as you kind of live and die by your running backs, I live and die by Antonio Brown, Golden Tate, and Brendan Cooks, which showed last week when none of them did shit. And then this week when – yeah, okay. And this week when they finally decide to, put up the production that they should, Golden Tate would have had a bigger week except for some bullshit call at the end of the game. But regardless, Eagles defense should have been better, but they started to, give up stupid tic-tac shit to – the derp king Eli Manning. So,
Dante, thoughts on the matchup that we were all waiting for?
I knew that there was going to be zero shit talk happening, unfortunately. But overall, I mean, both teams really showed up. Bode, I mean, you still need help at your running backs. You're welcome for Chris Carson.
Oh, thank you.
But past that, man, you're running backs, I think, and because I didn't think that he was going to be able to hold up in Seattle with that piss poor excuse for a defense or an offensive line. But your wide receivers are awesome, and I mean Brandon Cooks got you exactly what you wanted, and I'm sure you still have a boner because of that. But Becky's team honestly did a lot better than what is that?
I said I've been rock hard since about Sunday at 4:00. So
yeah, I'm sure your girlfriend's enjoying that.
It's like natural Viagra.
So I mean Becky's team honestly showed up when she has Hunter Henry gets her 0. And Jaquiz Rogers gets her 1.5, and she still put up 122 points. Like, holy shit. I don't think you're going to get 31 from Brady every week, but, I mean, he's expected to kind of get you right around 20 to 25 points, I think. 2 weeks back-to-back over 29 is awesome. Blade Fitzgerald, 27, good for Becky after I bashed him to her a couple weeks ago. So, good to see him kind of get back on the horse. Again, I don't think that's sustainable, but I think Becky's team is a little bit better than we, and again, I were probably giving her credit for. If Michael Thomas can kind of keep giving you those points that you expect, 18, Damaris Thomas, 12, 15-point range, she's going to have a solid team. She just needs to figure out that tight end situation because with Ife Daddy down now for a couple weeks and Hunter Henry not even being a part of the offense.
Yeah, how are you going to give
could be,
Jack Doyle a hard time and not say shit about Hunter Henry putting up his second 0 with 0 catches and 0 targets of the season?
Honestly, I forgot all about Hunter Henry.
See, Becky? See what happened when you don't trade with me? It's revenge. I'll keep doing this to you.
What do you think about this matchup, Robert?
It was everything.
Bobby Corks.
It was everything I dreamed for and more. The only thing I wanted was more reverse shit talk. There was just an utter lack of anything. And Kyle, you were obviously wrong with your. It wasn't even a bold prediction, but just saying that they were going to shit the hell out of each other.
I would just like to point out, if I did try any reverse shit talk, Becky was too busy in Disneyland to pay attention to the group chat. So I would have been reverse shit talking to myself, essentially.
Yeah, I think great matchup. A lot of entertaining games to watch this week, and this one came down to the wire last night, and the Fitz code finally came out and did some work. Fuck Tom Brady, as always, little bitch. Michael Thomas, he finally also had his big game that makes him not a last-round pick like he was kept for, but a first-round pick like he was likely to be taken for this year. Shout out to me for dropping him. Right, Becky?
She also has to figure out her running back situation.
No, her running backs are shit still. Like,
yeah,
Henry, unless DeMarco goes down and is not coming back, Henry still has to sit on your bench. He's like a Tevin Coleman situation with Kyle. Like, he's a guy you love to have on your team, but you really roll the dice starting him any week.
But I think based off of who else she has, once Doug Martin comes back, I guess it'll be next week. Yeah, Rodgers is. I mean, it's not like he did anything this week anyway.
Yeah.
Deion Lewis, I think that ship has sailed to New England.
Yep.
And yeah, she's honestly going to be forced to start Derrick Henry unless she finds someone on the waiver wire. And honestly, like, I don't know if there's anyone there right now who's going to be able to come in and start right away.
She's going to spend 15 points on Wendell Smallwood, and get blown out by like 150 by like Slick. Slick's going to just spend the rest of his money on Wendell Smallwood.
He is.
This is my second bold prediction.
Bold.
Slick spends all but like 50 on Wendell Smallwood.
Dude, I got to keep like 10 for the rest of the season.
He already has like under 300 left. Like,
really?
like 293.
It's all relative.
Oh, he's such a shitty team.
Well,
he's got 288 left.
Bode, I said I'd talk about your beer. What is that you got there?
So you have your beers of the week. I figured I'd break out something special. Getting the dub this week is this dub is brought to you by Evil Genius. Bye, Felicia. Yeah, 'cause that's what I'm saying to you. Bye, Becky.
Bode is back in the confident win circle.
I can't wait for this. I can't wait for this week. I'd love to be a fly on the wall in that house because you got two teams that after 3 weeks are essentially almost kind of desperate. Mike more so than Becky because Becky at least has one in the win column, but you got a 1-2 versus an 0-3. I mean, that's gonna be intense.
All right, Bode. Mike and Becky next week. Who you got?
I'm gonna look. I didn't look at the quick preview. So early favorite is Mike right now by 9. Just looking at the breakdown, and as it was alluded to, I mean Becky's running backs pretty problematic. I believe. Does Doug Martin come back this week?
No.
Week 4?
Not yet.
All right. Well, Quiz Rogers going against the very stout Giants defense. I don't see him doing much. Frank Gore going against Seattle in Seattle. I don't really see that being favorable for him, especially if Andrew Luck is still not back there. You know, she's going to need Tom Brady to pull another 30-some point performance out of his ass, and pretty much her wide receivers to replicate what they did, and obviously some points out of Hunter Henry if she doesn't leave her lineup the way it is. I'm going to go Mike, though, as my early favorite to get his first win of the season.
All right. I'm going to take Becky just because I want to see Mike keep losing. Bubonic plague all the way.
That would be the. I would love to see Mike keep losing, but
I'm gonna
I don't
go. I think
it'll
Mike's gonna win. I think Mike's gonna get his first victory, and then he'll get on his high horse that he finally is out of the doghouse, and then he'll immediately go right back down.
happen. Yeah, it's gonna be great.
And he'll lose, and he'll lose 3 of his next 4 after that.
All right, well, Bode, you picked Mike, but he's not your champion, and that's your
Hey,
team.
just because I picked him doesn't mean he has to be my champion. I just picked him to win at least one. I don't expect him to do what you did last year.
Do you think he would pick you to win this week against Dylan?
Probably not. It's personal preference. Might have something to do with the team name and the fact that my team picture is his face in a circle with a slash through it. But just a hunch.
Or the fact that you rip Becky apart every opportunity that you get.
Or that. Yeah, I'm a sexist dickhead, so there you go. There's that for you. What's a podcast without me on it and that being thrown in there?
You know what, Bode? I'm riding high on you. You made me believe of this past week. I think you're gonna go off again.
Oh, shit.
I think Mike Gillisley's gonna get back on the board with touchdowns, and I think Chris Carson's gonna run on Indy pretty easily.
I'm going with Bode. I'm going Bode in this game too.
Yeah, fuck you, Dylan.
Even though Dylan's a 2-point favorite, 2-point favorite, I'm still going Bode.
Yeah, why don't you make it? Why don't you win by 0.2 this week, Dylan? Huh? Why don't you cut it a little closer this time, fucker?
Rob isn't a fan of the wicked Clam Crowder.
Fuck that. Yeah, how the fuck was Jameson Crowder still in the game? He's fumbled twice this year, and he's catching passes at the end of the game to ice the game.
Triggered.
Fucking bullshit. Hope Marcus Peters shuts his ass down so Terrell Pryor can actually get the catches this week.
I'm triggered.
Fuck. All right. Those are our matchups of the week. Let's do a little power rankings, though. Got a lot of 2-1.
Hey, you missed the matchup of the week.
Shut up, Dante.
You missed the rivalry.
Oh, fuck.
The original rivalry.
The rivalry.
Can I throw out my bold prediction of the week now while we do this matchup?
Yeah.
It's getting bold out.
I think the original rivalry is going to end in a flat tie. And I mean, like, tied on the main score, and then the tiebreaker coming down to the bench. That's going to be a tie. It's going to end in a draw. They're going to have to, like, fight each other to the death to determine who.
Bold.
I think ESPN will blow up if that happens.
Or
all of Bristol, Connecticut.
Or
explode.
If that's the case, you make the tiebreaker. Who rocks the Sanchez jersey best?
That would be tough. Slick.
Can Kyle even get that over his head?
Yeah.
Like Rob, you're not a big guy. You know what I mean? Like you're not like.
What's that
You're not
supposed
like small. You're a petite man.
What's that supposed to be? I'll show you petite. Dante, we're on webcam. Don't make me.
And I'm trying to imagine Kyle putting your schmedium jersey over his head.
I have dainty shoulders. Just because they're not as hairy as yours, they just don't bulk up enough.
Yeah, they're also not as broad.
Oh, not as broad. My name's Dante. I have broad shoulders from apple picking so much.
It helps me get the highest apple on the tree.
Those Granny Smiths ain't easy to pick,
They're heavy. Got a lot of galas. A little Macintosh.
Couple of Honey Crisps.
Some Honey Crisps. Some Empires. You didn't even know about the Empires.
You're so fucking fruity. All right, who you guys got in the rivalry bitch of all rivalry bitches?
Rivalry bitch. Rivalry bitch. Rivalry bitch.
I called it a tie.
Dante.
I'm sticking to it.
I'm going Slick. I think Slick bounces back. Kyle's going to get off his high horse because he thinks his team's a shit. And I think Slick puts up more than he put up this past week, which isn't a lot because your team does stuff. Slick will get 110. Kyle will put up a goose egg. Well, not a goose egg. He'll put up a dud, and he'll get less than 80. He'll be like in the 72 range.
Nah, I'm not going to go Slick. I'm going to go with Kyle. Kyle, don't burn me again when I pick you, but I like his matchups a little bit better. And I think Slick's just going to somehow find a way to start the wrong people again. Like, it just never fails.
I'm pretty sure he set his lineup already because Chris Hogan's in, and he's still not starting DeMarco Murray.
Yeah, well, he's probably thinking. He's still got Simeon. I guess he can't even start Cam anymore. That's sad.
Yeah, that dude really fucking took a tumble after the Super Bowl.
Cam.
All right.
I'm sure Slick's going to change his quarterback this week. Like I bet he has someone queued up in the waiver wire. That he'll go after.
Dude, after you spend 100 and something on Simeon, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
We'll see. All right, those are the matchups of the week. We've got a lot of teams at 2-1, a couple teams at 1-2, and then obviously the bottom of the pit with the future Sacco potentially, and a former Sacco, and Ebonic Plague Carrier. What do you guys think? Who are those 0-3 teams really at the bottom? Are they the worst of the worst?
I think 2 of those 3 teams are the worst of the worst. I think SCO is hands down the worst team in the league, followed closely by Slick and his shitty team. And then honestly, I'm kind of torn between who I think is worse, who would be like third worst. And I'm torn between Mike and Peter. I think Mike has a better chance of making a run later on in the season than Peter does. So I'd probably put Peter as third worst.
Bode, what do you think?
I mean, I don't think Mike is as bad as his team's projected to be at 0-3. But yeah, I mean, SCO, I'm sorry, dude. Your team's bad. And Slick, I would say I'm sorry, but your team just put up 48 points. That's like just absolutely pathetic. You should wear a bag on your head for the rest of the season in embarrassment, like a Jets fan will be by about week 5 or 6.
Hey, why do you gotta do that? Come on, we just won the game.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like him. Peter being 2-1, I think is just he got shit luck, one more time than he should.
I want to change my bottom 3.
Nope.
And the only person I'm going to say that the only person I'm going to change is Peter.
Nope.
And I'm gonna throw Becky in that slot.
Wow. Okay.
I think Becky's team actually might be worse than Peter's. And I just gave it like a second look, and I think it's solely because of her running backs. Peter's is close. Peter's still close. They're still both 2 really bad teams. I almost want to change it again.
God damn it, Dante.
Can I go first?
Peter's also got a bad team. I can't. They're just so bad. I tried to give Peter credit. I was like, no, his team's not too bad. He's got OBJ and Aaron Rodgers and no one else.
Dude, just stick with it. You got it. It's Rob's turn to talk.
They're just so bad.
I'm in a freaking tie.
All right, I'm gonna go Slick at the bottom. Maybe not based on team talent, but I just think based on judgment and who he starts week in, week out. SCO, I think, is gonna go ahead of him. It's gonna be pretty close. And I'm going Peter. Peter's team does not deserve 2 wins. I feel ashamed to be in the same boat as him with 2 wins. It's so fucked. No offense, Peter. Well, no offense. Your team's not that good. You got injury problems. You don't have a lot of depth. Your running backs are kind of shitty. OBJ's not going to carry you for very long. Becky and Mike are both better than all of those teams, regardless of record. They put up points. They just have caught unlucky breaks, unlucky injuries. Not to say that they're in the top 3 by any means, but I don't think they're in the bottom 3 quite yet. But they're close because they've only got 1 combined win between the 2 of them. Now let's sort out some of the other teams. We've already got a 2-1 team in the bottom 3, according to a couple of us. Which of these 2-1 teams are at the top? Dante, I'm going to give you time so you don't have to fucking decide back and forth 3 different times.
I already have them set. I already have my top 3 set.
Well, I'm still going to.
That's what he says.
Yeah, then you're going to hear Bode say something, and you're going to change your mind. So, Bode, you go first.
So I'm gonna go after this week and looking at Carl's team and breaking it down. I'm gonna go Carl as number 1. I think he has probably the most complete team out of anybody, and he doesn't really have to rely all on one person in a given week. Followed up by Rob. I'll go with you because I think your running backs, they obviously prove that they can be extremely consistent especially like Freeman and Hunt. I mean, Hunt can be bottled up and just break off a 50-yard run. Freeman's going to get touchdowns. It's just a matter of whatever. It's just a matter of can Montgomery hold his own, and then can you just get other production elsewhere to try to just even it out and push your team over the top, which it's proven that you can. You've won twice.
And I have the most points.
And I don't know. This is tough. I mean, I kind of want to give it to myself. I kind of want to give it to Dante. I think our teams are pretty even in those regards. You know, so I'm actually going to split it and say it's a tie for the third between me and Dante.
Ooh.
I know. I'm a loser, but I just think, you know, like I said earlier, like my team is kind of the opposite of yours. If I get the production out of my, you know, 3 wide receivers, then I'm pretty much set, and then I just need, you know, a half decent day out of running backs and Drew Brees to just be Drew Brees. Fuck you looking at, Dante?
My computer
Dante,
screen.
You want to go, Dante? How many times did you just change your mind right there?
No, I have my 3 set. I think.
Okay, why don't I go first though? I'm gonna go with Carl first, Spencer second, me third.
What?
Dante, you're not even like the top 6. Go fuck yourself.
Damn, son.
Oh, fuck you.
You can go now. You want to go now, or should I change my mind again?
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about your teams a little bit, but all right.
I think Carl and Spence have more complete teams than mine do. Than mine are at this point, but I think it's all pretty close.
Well, I think Carl has the best team in the league, followed by you, Rob. But I might change that now because you're a dick. And then I'm honestly torn between Spencer and myself. I think I have a better team than Spence, but that's just me being biased. But if I can improve my wide receivers, I think I would absolutely have a better team than him. But that's kind of like my top 4. Sorry, Bode. You'd round out the top 5, but that's about it.
Man, he at least gave you the tie with him.
You know what? I'm gonna change it.
That.
Fuck Dante. He doesn't appreciate. He doesn't get the tie. I'm gonna tie myself with Spencer now. Eat a dick.
So rather than giving yourself the clear cut number 3, you're just gonna make yourself tied with other people.
Yeah, I'm gonna make it tied. I'm not gonna make it tied with you anymore.
I'm not offended by that.
You faggot.
He's on a big tie kick this week. He's got his tie with Kyle. He just wants everybody to be tied. He wants everybody to be even. He wants everybody to have good games.
Guys, I just want to say after this week, good game to y'all. It was awesome.
Not to Slick though. He didn't have a good game at all.
Nah, Slick, you suck. You suck ass.
Eat Bodak's ass.
Nah, eat Dante's ass.
Bode, you gave your bold prediction. I gave my bold prediction. Dante, you got any bold predictions for us?
It kind of goes into my matchup of the week. I don't think Kyle's going to crack 80. I think Kyle will be the lowest scorer of the week.
It's getting bold out.
Didn't he not crack 80 this week? Is that bold if he just did it?
Did he? Did he not crack 80 this week too?
I thought he had like 78.
Hey, he had 76.
76. Yeah, you're not that bold, you fuck.
Oh, well, I guess I can change it.
Change your mind again.
Let's
go pick some apples. Why don't you pick some apples while you decide on what your bold prediction is going to be, huh?
All right, Rob. My bold prediction for you is Carl beats you by 100.
You're such a bitter little bitch. You're like a Granny Smith apple. You're so I think if there was a week. Nah, fuck that. I'm not gonna do that reverse shit talk bullshit. Fuck you, Carl. I'm coming for that ass. Enjoy your birthday now, because you're not gonna be happy to come a week later. All right. You guys got anything else? I got nothing else.
No, I'm good.
All right. That's it. That's all we got. Hopefully, the pack will really start to clear each other out. Really separate the men from the boys. The Sackos from the Sackoless. Becky already separated kind of, but Bode, why don't you take us out of here with your song of the week, former pod god, leading scorer. Sign off for us. Give us a good sign off. Putting you on the spot.
Dylan, good game.
Good game? Okay. Fuck you. I'm cutting that part out.
What do you want me to say?
I don't know. Come up with something better.
That's been my go-to.
Fucking
I don't
pussy.
know. Suck my dick, Rob.
Whoa.
No, it's we're on to eating ass now, not dicks. It's ass.
Oh.
All right, fine. Rob, suck a bag of dicks. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Better? You happy?
Okay.
Are they sticking out like baguettes?
You have to suck them individually, and they all have to finish.
Oh, man. If I just imagine they're all cream hunt, I think I could do it.
God fucking damn it.
Jill, you're a genius.
Think it's a game.
I came up from nothing, nigga, you can't tell me shit, yeah. Did it on my own, check out my neck, check out my wrist, yeah.
I swear I ain't never expected it to be like this. Now a nigga getting rich. I swear every day we lit.
Yeah, every day we lit, yeah. You can't tell me shit, yeah. Remember I was broke, yeah. Now I'm getting rich,
yeah. When you diamond colder than a bitch, then you know you lit. When you quit to take a nigga bitch, then you know you lit.
Every day we lit, yeah. Every day we lit, yeah. Every day we lit, yeah. Every day we lit, yeah.
Every day we lit. Every day we lit. Every day we lit. Yeah. Every day we lit. Can't wait to get that vodka run. Put it on my arm. Just counted the 50 with my mom. The ball done. All my car came from. My chain glowing. I ain't going, man. Look where we came from. All your bangles got my name on it. She want me to put my name on it. I got the hottest 16, one of the best you ever seen. But she like it when I sang on it.
I came up from nothing, nigga, you can't tell me shit, yeah. Did it on my own, check out my neck, check out my wrist, yeah.
I swear I ain't never expected it to be like this. Now a nigga getting rich. I swear every day we lit,
yeah.
Man.
Every day we lit, yeah. You can't tell me shit, yeah. Remember I was broke, now I'm getting rich,
yeah. When you diamond colder than a bitch, then you know you lit. When you quit to take a nigga bitch, then you know you lit.
Every day we lit, yeah. Every day we lit, oh yeah. Every day we lit, oh yeah. Every day we lit, oh yeah.
Every day we lit,
yeah.
Every day we lit,
we lit.
Every day we lit,
we lit.
Every day we lit,
oh yeah.
Think it's a game.
Can't wait to get that new drop, put that on my block. I just copped a new beam, put that on my Glock. I done stepped my game up, got my change up. I swear on my niggas, I won't never change up. Rollie all on my wrist, rollie all on my bitch. I ain't going back, bro, never. Now a nigga getting rich, I did it all on my own. Then nobody gave me a loan. Now my diamonds on froze. Now I'm fucking niggas hoes. I came up from nothing, nigga, you can't tell me shit, yeah. Did it on my own, check out my neck, check out my wrist, yeah.
I swear I ain't never expected it to be like this. Now a nigga getting rich. I swear every day we lit,
yeah.
Man.
Every day we lit, yeah. You can't tell me shit, yeah. Remember I was broke, yeah. Now I'm getting rich,
yeah. When you diamond colder than a bitch, then you know you lit. When you quit to take a nigga bitch, then you know you lit.
Every day we lit, yeah. Every day we lit, oh yeah. Every day we lit, oh yeah. Every day we lit, oh yeah.
Every day we lit, yeah. Every day we lit,
we lit.
Every day we lit, yeah. Every day we lit, yeah.
Think it's a game.
Think it's a game. Yeah. I say every day we lit. You can't tell me shit, yeah. Every day we lit, every day.